Hello, hello, hello. This is Ray Felix live. And this is impromptu, not planned. I'm looking for Tom. Tom says he's backstage, but I don't see him. Let's see where he's at. And same time as talking. So basically, this is the Bronx Heroes podcast. We're going to do a quick, short one today. Tom and I wanted to talk about the street sign of Stan Lee that's just coming out. It was just announced. I want to share it with you guys. I already posted it a few hours ago, and it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. I mean, Stan Lee is a big deal, right? I mean, I'm in the Kirby fan club personally, but still, I mean, Stan Lee is originally Stan Lieber, accomplished many things. He was the cheerleader for Marvel, really took Marvel to the next level. Him and Kirby did great stuff together. I mean, nobody can say that with all the controversy. I wasn't there. I wasn't born in the 40s, so I don't know. Or the 60s, so I have no idea. I'll leave it there. It's not my fight. I wasn't there. A lot of people say lots of things on the internet, so I was like, let me bring Tom in, and then Tom can talk about this. He says he's backstage, but I don't see him. Let's see. Where can he be? Give me a second. Let me see. Where is he? There he goes.
I think it's working now. Now it's working.
There you go.
I kept hitting the wrong link and going in, but anyhow, we're here.
We're here.
And we're queer.
So, happy Pride Month.
Yes, exactly.
So, so I got this thing in the email today. You had mentioned it to me also before, and then Chris also sent me a picture of it, of this street sign of Stan Lee. Now, I have very little to say, but I think it's a good thing. It's in the Bronx. It's on the block where he was born, but you can tell us all about Stan. You're the Stan Lee master,
I am. Oh yeah, that's right.
You worked with him. You knew
I worked with him. Yes, I did. I worked with him and Vinnie Coletta.
Yeah, exactly.
And Jack Kirby and John Buscema and all these guys at Marvel Comics. Yes, and the Marvel Con 1976 and 75 and.
Yeah, that's what they were interested in doing comic conventions. Why do you think they never try to capitalize on that and corner the market with the conventions?
I think they just it wasn't a big deal back then. I mean,
right?
They were conventions, but it was
more like flea markets.
Yeah, I mean, at the time we were talking about 1976, and it was New York, and the big convention was done by Phil Suling, who originated the conventions, and that was every year in July. So they did a couple, and the conventions were successful, but it was at the Hotel Commodore, which at the time I think was the cheapest hotel to do them at. So at the time everyone was doing it, and then the next year Donald Trump bought the hotel. And that was actually his first big purchase, his first big deal, and he turned it into the Grand Hyatt. So of course it immediately became super expensive, and that's when conventions started. They started doing conventions at these like dive hotels. I think there was one on 34th Street, which I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a because I think the Statler Hilton had become too expensive, and then they started going to the Commodore, and then Trump took that over. So then they went to this other place, and they started doing it. I think it's still there. It's actually on 32nd Street, Hotel Regency or something. But it was it was like a real dive, and I think it still is a dive. I think now it's like mostly like homeless or something, but it was a dive back then in the 70s, and so
they're like, this is a good price,
right. But I mean, the Commodore was a good spot, but once Trump got his hands in it, I guess they said, well, let's go and concentrate on movies and TV shows.
Right. No, that makes sense.
Trump got
that makes sense.
Yeah, so that was the end of that. But I think there's I don't know if you've heard, but is there going to be a D23 in New York? Are they doing that in New York?
They usually do those in Florida, right?
Yeah, but I heard that they were doing something in New York. But I'm not sure what.
That would be insane.
Yeah, but yeah, Marvel could have. They could do it now. They could do a Marvel convention, but
easily if they wanted to. They could easily.
But yeah, that was a successful convention. The one in '76. And that's the one. That's the one where I appeared on Channel 9 as Spider-Man.
So technically you were the first cosplayer of Spider-Man in the 70s, right?
I guess that's the first TV Spider-Man. That was before the TV show, I guess.
Yeah.
And that was like I think it was the day before the convention, and I'm in the office, and Stan calls me over, and he throws the Spider-Man costume. I goes, here, go with, I forget who I was going with. Go with such and such to Channel 9 Studios, which used to be in Times Square. Right. And you're going to go on as Spider-Man and talk about the convention. And that was it. I mean, there was no big publicity.
To find that footage.
Oh, please. I wish. No, but it wasn't like a thing that now, of course, there'd be like 10 publicists, and there'd be a script or whatever. And, they'd be coaching you, and you would have to, you would probably have to memorize a script or whatever. But back then, here, Tom, just go on and talk about the convention. So it's like
we gotta have you as we have to put you down as the first Spider-Man, televised Spider-Man on IMDb.
I guess so. Whatever. So that I ended up going, and then the newsmen, I guess they did like a remote kind of thing, and they, so I went with the film crew, and we went to this park around the corner.
Right.
Which I think years ago they actually filmed West Side Story there in this playground, and so I'm sitting on what do you call it? One of those jungle gym type things, and they're interviewing me, and then in the middle of it, a couple of cops come by, and they go, "What do we got, a psycho here or something?" And they're like, they were going to arrest me. And then the news. Oh no, we're doing a news thing for Channel 9. Oh, okay.
Isn't that funny? I remember doing a cosplay for Whitestone Cinema when I worked at Wild Comics. I dressed up as the Joker, but I had everything in black and a little black limousine cap with a little bat button on it, and I had my face painted white with the lipstick and everything because I didn't have a purple suit. And as a teenager, I probably wouldn't wear purple. It's like I'll wear it now, but I was all in black, and then we did the Joker, inviting people to our private screening. We did a private screening, and people looked at me like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you dressed up like the Joker for?" It's like it wasn't a cool thing. People were like, "What's wrong with this guy? Why is he dressed up like that for? He look weird." And
now, of course, it's normalcy, especially you walk around Times Square, and everyone's got the costumes on. They're trying to assault you and.
Exactly. I even dyed my hair green too. I remember, so it's like.
You should do it again. It really looks good on you.
Yeah, I'm more like Jack Nicholson, the fat Joker now. It's like
there you go.
Not as skinny as I used to be.
Speaking of the Joker, I've become addicted again to Charlie's Angels, which is on Get TV every night.
Oh, cool.
And last night they had.
Is it like a new version of TV Land or something?
Yeah, it's on. Channel 68.3 something. You get it over the air, not on cable. Get TV, because have an antenna. But anyhow, and it just happened to have an episode where Cesar Romero was the villain.
Really, Cesar Romero.
Cesar Romero was the villain, and it was this whole thing where it was like a 1940s like dance concert or something, and everyone was dressed up like the 1940s, and I don't know, he was the killer or something, but he was like, it was like he was good. He was a good actor, but he was replaying his part in a horror movie he did in the 60s called Two on a Guillotine, and he was kind of replaying that part of like the psycho magician or something, but it was very good with and that was one of the episodes with Shelley Hack, who only lasted one season because they fired her after they wanted to get a new angel in there to create publicity. But she was actually quite good, and I thought she was she was pretty hot too. But she was quite good, and she was born in White Plains.
Really? That's cool.
And she grew up in Greenwich, Connecticut, which is not far from White Plains. So, but I like Shelley Hack. She was actually one of the better ones. But as much as I like Tanya Roberts, she was much better.
Oops, sorry. Just do that.
Oh, okay. That's the.
Okay. So, go ahead. You were saying Shelley Hack. Yeah, go ahead.
Shelley Hack, yeah. So Shelley Hack was good, but anyhow, it was very good with Cesar Romero to see like a bat villain in there, and then in the side, there's another station on, which I don't know if people get it on their regular cable, but it's over the air. It's part of like Channel 31 called The Grit, and they show only like old westerns. And they had on an old western with like Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin called Four for Texas. Right. And I remember seeing it when I was a kid. This is like 1963, right? So you're talking about 60 years ago, whatever. Right. But what was interesting about it is that the music is by Nelson Riddle, who was Sinatra's like arranger for 100 years. But all the music, he reused all the music for Batman because it all sounds like Batman music, and the thing that's funny is, and the main villain in the show is the movie is played by Victor Buono, who of course was King Tut on Batman.
Oh wow!
And then they had a bunch of like character actors who end up showing up in Batman later on, Fritz Feld, and then Mike Mazurki, and a bunch of other people that showed up on the Batman TV show. And then they had a guest appearance, and they did like a 5-minute bit with like Dean Martin of the Three Stooges. Oh, right. The Three Stooges show up in this Western with Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and Ursula Andress and Anita Ekberg. So it was, and Charles Bronson is also. And
Stan Lee too, right?
And Stan Lee. And Charles Bronson also plays the other main villain. Right. So it's like hysterical. So if you wanted to have trivia, what movie did Charles Bronson and Frank Sinatra play together in? It's Four for Texas.
Let me ask you something real quick. Yeah. Who else do you feel deserves a street in the Bronx that came from the Bronx that worked in comic books?
Julie Schwartz is one.
Yeah, Julie Schwartz. Yeah, because he did.
And I believe Jack Kirby lived in the Bronx for a while.
Oh, really? I know that he was Lower East Side, is what they always.
Yeah, but I think he also lived in the Bronx too. But
did he go to any schools in the Bronx, or were like high schools?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Danny Fingeroth that, or one of the Kirby people. But that I'm not sure. But I think he was. But hell, he deserved a street in the Bronx anyway. But I know Julie Schwartz is from the Bronx, and Bill Finger and Bob Kane was from the Bronx. And
Larry
Lieber.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to. And I think actually Neil Adams is from the Bronx too, but he doesn't want to admit it.
He is. He told me that he used to live on Fordham Road.
Yes, because I used to run into him on Kingsbridge Road all the time in the mid '70s before I was working at Marvel and DC, I used to run into him because I knew who he was and I knew him.
Yeah.
So he always would take the D train. So you get the Kingsbridge Road stop on the D train or the exit there. So so Neil is from the Bronx too. So he could get a street sign there. But a lot of the writers and artists came from the Bronx or lived up in the Bronx. Well, Rich Buckler lived in the Bronx for a while too.
Oh, he did. Wow.
Yeah. He lived on the concourse, and then he
I said the Bronx is the best, New York's best hidden secret. Well, it was. Now they're gentrifying it. So it's like
right. Well, yeah.
it's like
but
it's not a secret anymore. No, it's the greenest borough.
It's the greenest borough. Yes, that's right. That's right. That's right. And I was going to make some other jokes, but I want to knock the Bronx. But and also there used to be I was just mentioning this on Facebook to Steve Bissett because he published a photo from the 1927 Lost World, the silent edition of the guy. I forget the name of the stunt man, but he played like an ape man in it. But the Lost World, which was the precursor to King Kong with the animation, was filmed in the Bronx. Really? Because the studios, First National Studios, had studios around 175th Street near Jerome Avenue, which they burned down in the late 70s, early 80s. But they were in use up until the 60s, the 70s. And they filmed a lot of movies there in the silent era. And then later on, they did a lot of TV shows, including Sergeant Bilko and Car 54, Where Are You? Were filmed there in the Bronx. But the effects that Willis O'Brien did, the stop motion effects, he actually did in a house on Decatur Avenue near Fordham. So all that stuff was all filmed. And I'm just wondering now if some of the exterior scenes, which looked like in a forest or a river or whatever, I'm just wondering if those were filmed like by the Botanical Gardens. That's interesting. I probably was. Or even probably Bronx Park. Yeah, because I have all that information in an old magazine book that was from the early 70s. That was a precursor to a magazine called Cinefex. And they did an entire thing on King Kong, and all the information is there, including the address on Decatur Avenue, which we should go to one of these days. But it's right by Fordham Road. So I don't know if the house is still there, but apparently there was a house right there, and that's why he did all these special effects. That's pretty cool. But the studio shots were done at these sound stages. Well, they weren't sound stages then, but stages in the Bronx. So it's amazing. That's amazing. And nobody knows about this shit. Bronx has a very rich history. Take a look at this ad here. Let me see if I could put this up. This is since we're talking about Stan Lee and King Kong, but this is the co-naming of the street. This is my little TikTok video. My little try to promote it. I kind of wish that you guys were earlier. It's too bad that that's it. TikTok's 10 seconds. So it's like, kind of wish that they had reached out earlier, because I remember you sent me the thing, and I was like, oh, that's nice. But I saw it on Facebook earlier in the week. I had no idea that it was going on. So yeah, it's kind of like, but it is an important thing. So we'll see. At least it'll be warmer than when we went to the Bill Finger thing. No, Bill Finger was so cold. Yeah, that was like in the middle of winter. It was like we were freezing our tuchuses off. That was a really cool event. I still remember that. But will there be someone dressed as Spider-Man there? That's what I want to know. Yeah, because there was a guy that came as Batman at the other thing. Right. We need a guy to dress as wait, you had that Spider-Man suit. Hold on. I don't fit in it anymore. Wait, we got the Tobey Maguire suit. It's like they have these new modern ones that look really cool. Yeah, I know.
It'd be like Spider Ham, not Spider Man.
Exactly. Well, I could put it on, but it would be Spider Ham. It would be scary. That will.
Yeah, I'd be like, then the police will come and say, "Who's this crazy guy?" and arrest me.
Well, listen, you could just bring the mask, and you could just be like the Spider-Man before he had
The retired, not Spider Man.
you could just put the mask on, and walk
I don't
around.
even think the mask was. My face is chubbier than it used to be. I don't. All this COVID weight. I'm just like, go away, too much.
Yeah, I know this is going to be bizarre, so we'll have our masks on because I'm keeping my mask on, even though I have my
For real.
shots. I know. So I think this is not far from Bronx Community College, which is
Yes.
on University.
Yeah, I was talking to Danny earlier, and he was saying that it's right around there. But yeah, it's a shame they didn't reach out to Larry Lieber or anyone in the Marvel camp. But that's the Bronx. Well, we'll see what happens. I have no idea what's there.
I'm surprised they didn't contact any of the newspapers or anything.
Oh, they might have. I'm sure because it's a councilman. They're gonna do that. There was another street unveiling recently too, but I think it was a Latin musician or something, and they always do that. So
yeah,
I just if you're in the Bronx tomorrow, if you happen to be traveling to the Bronx or through the Bronx at 10 a.m., stop by 176th Street, drive by there.
That's right. And you could probably score some crack or something.
Yeah, I mean, they need to build a comic book museum in the Bronx, one for Batman, one for,
or something. They should do some kind of comic book museum in the Bronx,
They should have a Batman museum in the Bronx. I've been saying that for years, They really need to do that. Comic books started in the Bronx. People should recognize that,
That's right, but they don't want to do that.
1938 was Batman, right? And before Batman, there were still other things. I'm sure there was a lot of pulp writers.
Well, there were a lot of people. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the writers and whatever were up in the Bronx. So, like I said, Julie Schwartz and a lot of these science fiction writers lived up in the Bronx too. So
exactly.
So they were there. I'm sure. Well, these guys like Mort Weisinger, and if you start digging into it, it's like most of these people were in the Bronx.
Exactly.
Because the Bronx was the cheap area to live, Brooklyn was more expensive, as it is now.
Yeah. Brooklyn is untouchable. It's like
millions of dollars.
I don't know if I told you, I was trying to help a friend move to New York City from Texas, and a few months back. This is in, I think, September. Yeah, this is September. And 400 square feet in Brooklyn in a real snazzy building, like these fancy buildings. You see them erecting these gentrified buildings.
Yeah.
$2,700.
Nice.
A month. 400 square feet. And those are the ones they're building in the Bronx too now. Those snazzy buildings with doormen.
Yeah.
They have all those amenities. Looks like a hotel.
Yeah, they have.
And they have their apartments in the Bronx. Excuse me, a one bedroom goes for like $3,000. Like, hello, what? and it's a small, tiny apartment.
But they have a wine cellar, probably.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can put your wine in their wine cellar. It's amazing.
Right.
And indoor parking. Oh, it's great.
Indoor parking, yeah.
Yeah, well, my friend John Donaldson lives in one of those fancy high rises they put up by Battery Park City. But he got one of the poor people apartments because he and his wife they're artists, so they got one of the poor apartments. But he says the place, I mean, the construction was not so great. There's always like plumbing problems or some other things. So they may put those things may look good, but they put them up like shit. They're like ghetto apartments, inside of it. They're always falling apart and shit,
Yeah.
The elevator's not working and stuff,
Or they smell like piss or something.
They're like piss.
I really hated that. I really hated when I lived in a building that someone would always eventually. I lived in the nicer buildings, but someone would see always some jerk off to decided to piss in the elevator, and you know the person didn't live there because why would you pee in the elevator? You know, it's like you got to be a total lowlife to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that would drive me nuts. That would drive me so crazy. I always wish that I would bump into that person and beat the hell out of them and grab their head and stick their nose in their own urine like a dog. It's like it just aggravate me. You know, you're living somewhere.
Black Power should do it in the next book.
You know,
Black Power should do that in the next book. But
lap up their own piss.
Yeah, but on a lighter note, I went and I won on eBay.
Sorry,
on a lighter note, Spider-Man. I won on eBay one of the Captain Action Spider-Man uniforms from the newer version. So now I added a Spider-Man figure to my collection of figures.
Pretty cool.
So it's Spider-Man now. So maybe I should bring Spider-Man down to the thing tomorrow. Though I got my Spider-Man figure with me.
I think it's pretty amazing. There's a lot of contributions, you know, in the Bronx, like jazz and hip hop, and you know, even like salsa, things like that. And
a lot of creativity.
You know, like Miles Davis is buried. Sir Miles Davis is buried in the Woodlawn Cemetery. You know, a lot of people don't know. You know,
a lot of people buried at Woodlawn Cemetery.
We have some presidents there.
There's a lot of people buried there that aren't even supposed to be there, but they're buried there.
What was it, like the mob just like stuck people in the
probably threw a few people in there that that vanished. I think Jimmy Hoffa might be there too.
Oh my goodness, that's too funny. But thanks for coming on. I didn't want to. Thanks for coming on last minute.
So if you guys can be there at 10 a.m. tomorrow, because Ray and I will be there at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and we'll probably get a scrambled egg and a roll from some bodega nearby, which will probably be delicious.
Coffee cart, yeah.
Because bodega food is always delicious.
Yeah,
and it's just but we'll be there. I have no idea who else is going to be there, but we'll see if there's some representative of Marvel Comics there.
Well, that'll be you.
It'll be me. Wow. Yeah, I know. That's pretty scary. I might have to shave.
I see you growing a beard there. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. I have to shave because it's Phyllis's mother's 90th birthday Sunday, so I have to shave for that by Sunday.
90th birthday. That's a big milestone.
Yes, exactly.
I'm going to end this broadcast. We could keep chatting.
We can just keep chatting, sure.
Check it out. Last time. Here we go. Add that tomorrow. Be there.
There you go, kids.
Be there.
Come on down. Be there or be square.
Yeah.